to the kitchen. Our weather here is kind of dreary and drizzly, rainy, and that kind of makes you feel like it's soup weather. Well, I don't want to make soup, so the next best thing to making a pot of soup is to make a beef vegetable casserole. So that's what I'm going to do today. It's not hard, it's easy, but it's very hearty and filling. And I'm going to bring y'all over here and show you what I'm putting in it and get it going so we can have something to eat here pretty soon. It doesn't take 45 minutes to get it made. You just brown your hamburger and put everything together and bake it till the cheese melts. Of course it has cheese on it. It's a casserole. Come on over to the butcher block and let's look at this stuff so I can get it in the skillet and get it going. Okay, I had 2 cups of chopped onion right here, but I went ahead and put it in the skillet. So I'm going to do 3 small cloves of garlic when the onion gets translucent and tender. I'm going to put my meat in and let it brown. And then I'm going to add a can of cream of mushroom soup. I'm going to drain and wash this can of black beans. And then I'm going to use a can of whole kernel corn. Now if I had frozen whole kernel corn, I would use that. And you can add more of the beans and corn if you want to. A can of Rotel tomatoes, which is tomatoes with green chilies in it. And I'll boil a bag of medium egg noodles and drain them, and I'll stir it all together and top it with cheese, and I'll stir some cheese into the mixture as well. Put it in the oven and bake it till it gets bubbly and good, and that'll be supper. So I'm going to let these onions cook off over here. I'll show y'all in a minute what the skillet looks like cooking onions, and then we'll get it all put together. Okay, I've got my beef in here, and I had a little bit of freeze-dried, about 1/4 of a cup of freeze-dried corn pieces sitting around. So I went ahead and threw them in to rehydrate while I'm getting all of this done. Got the onions caramelized a little bit. Didn't intend to, but that's what happens when you walk away from what you're doing, but they'll still taste good. I prefer them caramelized, actually. So let me get this meat all browned. When it's all browned up, we'll add the rest of the ingredients, and we're almost out of the game. We've just about won here in about 10 more minutes. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons or so of onion powder. I'm going to tell you, this one's about empty, so let's see what we got in here. There's 1, 2, I'm just going to go ahead and use the rest of it. That's about 2.5, and I know I put garlic in it, but I'm going to put about 3/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. To start with, I'm going to put about 3/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt. And just some coarse brown pepper that Costco ground for me. I'm going to step over to the sink and drain my black beans and rinse them. And then we'll get the black beans, and I'll drain the corn, get the corn in, the cream of mushroom soup, and then we'll be just waiting for our noodles to get ready. Okay, I've got my noodles drained, and I've just dumped them in with the meat. So I'm just going to stir this till it's all incorporated, and then I'm going to stir some cheese into it. And I'll bring y'all back in just a minute when I've got the noodles all mixed in and we're ready to add some cheese and get it into the pan to bake it. Okay, I'm going to use this Mexican blend cheese, and I'm going to add just a handful, which is close to a cup, and stir it in. And that'll make this bind where when you serve it, it'll be like, almost like a lasagna maybe, that you can just pull out. I don't care if it doesn't come out like that, but binding it with cheese or something does help. Now, if you wanted to be a little less fattening, you don't have to put the cheese in. And I'll get it into the casserole, and I'll put some cheese on top and get it in the oven. But now, I know that most of y'all know this, but just in case, if you were in a hurry and you didn't want to take the 20 or 30 minutes to melt cheese on the top, just serve it like this. put a serving out, sprinkle you a little cheese on it, and maybe clip you some green onion blades on the top. And it's a beautiful presentation. And it's easier than putting it into the oven in a traditional 9x13 casserole. Okay, I'm fixing to put cheese on this one right here to put it in the oven and melt it. But I'm going to show y'all a little separate dish of what I was talking about, of just putting a little bit of cheese and a little green onion blade for serving purposes instead of putting this much cheese on the top. And I'm not measuring this, I'm just putting what I think will look good when it's melted. Okay, I'm going to get that one into the oven. Let me move it out of the way so I can show y'all what I'm talking about here. This is just a little single serve dish. And see, while it's hot, it's probably cooled a little bit by now waiting on it. Just sprinkle a little bit of cheese on the top and take your snips and snip you some green onion blades around on it. And you can have one casserole served two ways. You could even split this casserole and serve half of it today with the cheese baked in the oven, and in a day or two bring it out and serve it like this. The other half, garnish it like this and serve it with a salad, and you've got a complete meal. So that way you can cook one pot of meat, serve it two ways. I'm going to get this other one in the oven at 350 till the cheese melts, and I'll show y'all what it looks like. Okay, here's the casserole. I just got it out of the oven and it's still kind of sizzling and very hot. I'm going to plate some up and show y'all what it looks like. I've already tasted of the one that I didn't put in the oven. Oh my goodness, it's delicious. Just hits the spot when you're hungry for something that's filling and it's convenient. Okay, here's the casserole where I dipped some of it out, and I pulled some of it out where y'all could see what's in it, how it looks. And then here's the one that I've got plated up that I took my picture of. And it's so good. Y'all for coming in the kitchen with me and listening to me talk and watching while I cook this wonderful Texas beef casserole. Hope y'all will try it. You can vary it to your taste, change the vegetables, and it's not so Texasy, but we like it like this. Y'all be careful and watch your back and take care of yourself, and plan some good meals around the supper table with your family. Family is very important, and in these troubled times that we're in, kids may not really realize what's going on, but they know something is because they hear the disturbing conversation of their parents and the adults that they're around. So one thing you can do to bring some peace and tranquility into their life, make a good meal and gather around the table, turn off those electronic devices, and have some family time. Y'all, family is so important. Put God first and your family next. That's kind of the right order of life. Make those kids feel secure and important. Listen to them. Find out what's going on in their life. Feed them some good food. Pray with them before they go to bed. And you do the same thing. Pray for our country. And you know, if you're praying and you're eating good food, you're doing pretty good. Y'all come back in a day or two and we'll have something else good in this kitchen.